What is going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. So today we're going to be checking out the Queen Studios Superman life-size bust. This has been something in the making for a very long time with Queen Studios. They've done their Batman, they've done their Wonder Woman, and fans have been begging for a Superman bust, one that's more in scale with their Wonder Woman Batman, because previously, a lot of people were just pairing it with Infinity Bust, which was more of a half torso and was simply like too big when paired up with their Batman and Wonder Woman. And now Queen has finally revealed their Superman bust. So we're going to go ahead and check out this short video and give you guys my opinions. So yeah, here it is. So check that out. Now, let's check out this likeness for a second. Now, for some wild reason, a lot of people thought the J&D Superman was really good likeness, and I thought everyone was crazy. I'm like, I thought that was their worst likeness to date, honestly. Even at the event, I thought the likeness got worse. I felt like the head was too small for the body, and I never saw a Henry Cavill likeness in that. At some angles, it might have been 50% for me, but in all honesty, I hated that sculpt. Even the body I thought was not a good sculpt. It didn't look like Henry Cavill. It was way over exaggerated, and I just was not a fan. Probably the most overrated pre-order I've seen in my entire history of statue collecting. Now this, I do see Henry Cavill. I definitely see it. And I like the costume as well. I think Queen did a fantastic job on it. But yeah, I see the likeness there. They got his nose. It's very similar to like my Infinity Studios nose, because Henry Cavill has a very distinct nose and jawline. And I think they got it here. Now, based upon his expression, which is kind of more determined, this does look like it's going to need to be a top shelf bust, because his eyebrows are a little bit more like determined. So, when they do that, the eyebrows cover the eyes a little bit more, therefore making, this will need to be a top shelf bust, which in general I think all silicones should. But yeah, like right there, definitely see Henry Cavill. Like this to me is 95% Henry Cavill. You can see the wrinkles in the forehead, obviously the hand punched hair, which looks excellent. This little bit of stubble, that classic like jaw line, the one right there, which looks really good. His sideburns look fantastic. Definitely very good likeness in my opinion. I like the styling of the hair. I think it looks really well done. Now the costume, it looks very similar to my Infinity Studios. It's definitely fully sculpted, not mixed media. But yeah, it looks great. The S looks good. Love the base. The gold and blues and everything look great. The cape looks very well done. It looks like a nice material. Now this base, I absolutely love. So the S is removable. So this is more or less like an Easter egg, not something you're going to constantly look at. But I think it's an extremely cool concept. Because a lot of times companies have been doing that thing where there's something on the back of the base, which I do think is cool, yes. However, unless you have it on like a table in the middle of your room or on a Lazy Susan and you can freely, turn it around, you're rarely going to see the back of the bust. So having it on the front but covered, I think is even a better idea. Because it's much easier to remove an S than it is to look at the back of the bust. Just make it extremely easy to remove, and it's never going to be damaged or scratched when you remove it. And then right here, you got the little baby Superman from when he was found in his pod by, his father. In addition, there's something really cool that I'll show you guys in a bit that they're going to show you. Check out that little baby. Now, that looks like silicone as well. Yeah, like that likeness is very good. I think they got it really, really good. The black suit also looks great, but I'm definitely a much bigger fan of the classic. It's just much more vibrant. But I think the black suit would be great for those people who own the Infinity Studio bust, want to get a second Superman bust, and they get the black suit version. you know. So I love the fact they got that option. Now, this one does not include the S. It's the Justice League. I personally prefer the S. Yeah, like, check out that little baby. And if you notice the way it's handled, like, look how they squoze its feet together. That makes me think this is a silicone baby. It's either silicone or plastic. If it's silicone, it's going to raise the price. Granted, it's not super big, but silicone's going to be more realistic. But yeah, you can take the baby out. As you can see, they were like folding the legs quite easily. And this is what I freaking love. You get a Superman key that you insert, just like in the movie, and it lights it up, which I think is super cool. Looks like there's even a blanket there. Yeah, so check out like that, the detail. The glass eyes look excellent. Awesome skin texture. Does have a slight, you know, like sweaty look, similar to their other busts. You know, it just tells me they're using the same silicone type. I definitely love the base, but I do much prefer the S. And in general, the, you know, classic costume. Now, this is like the teaser video that Queen Studios just posted. They have not posted pricing yet. It's not yet available. It's available on January 18th, so 2 days from now. But yeah, let's talk about it for a second. So of course, you have to compare this to Infinity Studios' Superman bust. This bust retailed at, what was it, just like $3,000. The base is definitely not near as cool. I think Queen Studios does absolutely fantastic bust bases. I think Infinity needs to up their game. I think they have been getting better on their newer busts. You know, like the Daenerys Targaryen, the base is amazing. You know, and like their Harley and Joker, I think, have really good bases. But I think Queen in general has had better bases than Infinity. Now, Queen's Superman bust doesn't have nearly as much torso. You know, like their bust ended like right here. Where, you know, on the Infinity, I'm getting all this additional torso. You know, in addition, theirs didn't look like it had a full back. Like it was cut off similar to the Wonder Woman, where you're not getting the side, you're not getting the back. You're just getting like a classic bust, where this is more the full actual body. You know, like you're getting the side, the actual back. In addition, this one has full shoulders. It's not cut right there. You got, you know, these big broad shoulders, silicone hands, you know, where you can see his wrist gauntlets. Obviously, this is the, you know, transformation from Clark Kent to Superman. So some people don't like that. They prefer just a Superman only suit. I do like this concept. I think it's really cool. You know, and I got my full Superman suit right next to him. You know, and as you can see, you know, the gold and blue and everything looks just as good as Queen's. You look at the silicone. Now, Infinity does use a different type of silicone. But as you can see, this has, you know, that classic nose just like the Queen. His eyebrows aren't quite as determined, I will say. So this one would look actually good down low. But it is just so big. Sideburns are very similar, actually, as Queen's. Same with the ear. The hairstyling's a little bit different. Theirs was going up this way. This one is the Justice League one. Theirs looked a little bit more similar to that hairstyle, and that's the Batman vs. Superman. You know, I think this hair looks good out of the box. I mean, Queen's prototype did look better, but you know you're not going to get that in, you know, when you open it. I mean, I would say Queen is, likeness-wise, as good as Infinity. I would say they're about equal. You know, like I see Henry Cavill at pretty much every angle when I look at this bust. And I would say Queen did just as good a job. So it's the matter of, what do you prefer? Do you prefer just the classic V shape and no arms and lower body and back? I do think Queen has the upper hand on the base. It's definitely better. The baby and the little, you know, Superman key with the light up is really cool. I think conceptually, it's awesome. I think for those people who didn't like this concept, you should get the Queen bust. I think for those who have Queen Wonder Woman, Queen Batman, the classic suit, This Superman is an absolute no-brainer and a far better companion piece than this guy. I think for those who have that Batman and, want a companion Superman, this is the one to get. Obviously, Queens won't pair good with this. I feel like it's better to pair it with the studio that made it. I still think Infinity Studios Wonder Woman pairs better in this setup than my Queen, because it's more half torso and a little bit bigger. However, my Infinity bust just was a bad batch, and I liked my Queen better, for a few reasons, so I kept my Queen. Someday I may get that Infinity Studios Wonder Woman back if it's a good batch one and it makes sense to get it. But overall, I do really like the Queen's Superman bust. Now, that Superman is going to be $4,000. 100%. Like if Thor was $4,000, he didn't have shoulders, similar, style bust, then their Superman's going to be $4,000. And you can still get this guy for $3,000. Like you still get him at retail through a lot of retailers, $3,000 plus shipping. So is Queen's worth $1,000 more, in addition waiting 2 years for their Superman bust, which lacks the silicone hands, arms, more torso. I mean, I don't think it's worth it. But I think if you do have their Batman and Wonder Woman, you've been waiting for their Superman, get their Superman. For someone who just wants a standalone Superman bust, this is going to have more presence and it's cheaper. And, it's equally as good, in my opinion, when it comes to the face. So that's kind of my 2 cents. But overall, I think Queen did a fantastic job. Of course, I don't plan to get it. I am set with my Superman. I have this pair, which for me is my ultimate pair. So I'm definitely set. But overall, I think Queen did an absolutely fantastic job. I love the concept, the overall look. The likeness is great. And, props to them. They did an absolutely amazing job. That's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you like it better than Infinity? Do you think it's worth $1,000 more than Infinity? And who of you plan to pick this bad boy up? Let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.